Grace and peace. Welcome to Judah's Roar Domestic Violence Awareness Initiative YouTube channel. I am your host, Apostle Cheryl. Today's topic is Dear Survivor, Manage Your Expectations. Dear Survivor, manage your expectations. Now, before we get started, I'm going to give you a few seconds to check here below the video. Make sure you subscribe if you've not done so already. You can share this video even while you're viewing it. Did you know that? So please go ahead and share. And then I want you to click the bell for notifications. We upload a new video every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so if you click the bell, you'll be notified each time we upload a new video. Okay, now let's get started. Dear Survivor, manage your expectations. Listen, this is a conversation that I have with myself, even now. So I'm going to be sharing with you why it's important that we manage our expectations. And typically we are hurt or disappointed or devastated when we expect one thing and are presented with something else, right? We've expected something. We've had our hopes connected to a thing or a certain set of circumstances. And when it does not manifest, we are emotionally just hurt. And so that means that we expected something and we did not get it. Okay, I've learned the hard way, okay? Just being transparent. But I've learned the importance of being aware of two things: managing your expectations and being able to identify what they are, because you can't manage them if you don't know what they are, right? And so the first thing is that you want to be able to identify what it is you are expecting. And the second thing is you want to be able to manage it. Now, those of you who know me know that I like to make sure that we're on the same page. So we're going to look at a couple of definitions before we proceed. Expectation: the act or state of expecting. Anticipation: the act or state of looking forward to some occurrence. Okay? Some words that mean the same thing as expectation is anticipation, prospect, contemplation, and ding, 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 assumption. Okay? It is a degree of probability that something will occur. The degree of probability that something will occur. Some more synonyms for expectation: chance, confidence, likelihood, hope, intention. Okay? Now, the Bible says that hope deferred makes the heart sick. That hope that is put off, that hope that is not satisfied, makes us heartsick. That's in Proverbs 13 and 12, part A. The opposite of expectation is unlikelihood, disbelief, and doubt. Okay? Now, let's look at manage. Manage is to handle or direct with a degree of skill. To handle or direct with a degree of skill. To exercise executive, administrative, and supervisory direction of. To make and keep compliant. To make and keep. So if we're managing something, we make it compliant and we maintain it. Okay, the compliance. Words that mean the same: contend with, address, cope with, grapple with, handle, maneuver, negotiate. Okay, what is today's topic? Today's topic is Dear Survivor, manage your expectations. Now, we're going to split this into two videos because there's some things that we want to make sure that we cover. So this is part one, and you can tune in next week for part two. And if you miss it, you can search it out on our channel. Why is it important that we, because I'm talking about myself too, as survivors, manage our expectations? Why is that so important? Why is it so important that we develop a degree of skill at making sure that we have some balance in our life in terms of what we expect? And what in creation does this have to do with domestic violence? Number one, what we expect or assume that we will receive impacts what we tolerate or accept, both in a current abusive relationship and the next one. Okay, so if our expectations are not managed properly, we will be going around the mountain till she comes. If we don't manage our expectations properly, we will repeat the pattern. The next thing that I want to address is this: unrealistic hope or assumptions keep victims and survivors in harm's way. Unrealistic hope or assumptions keep victims and survivors in harm's way. Now, those of you who describe yourself as spiritual or religious, especially listen to this, because often we will fall into a trap from a spiritual standpoint when scriptures are misappropriated. Okay? What are some unrealistic hopes or some unrealistic assumptions that are common in a toxic relationship on the survivor's behalf? The expectation that the abuse won't escalate. The expectation that the abuse left unaddressed will not escalate is completely unrealistic. The expectation that the abuser will see you as a person one day and not a possession. The expectation that the abuser will one day see you as a person and not a possession. The expectation that despite a criminal history or a rap sheet or even a reputation in the streets, as long as he or she is tall, extensive history, documented history, everybody knows about it history, but despite that, often survivors will believe that our love for them will transcend all of that toxicity and turn things around. The problem with that expectation is they are convinced, the abuser is convinced that they have a right to control and dominate you in every area of your life. And they believe that. They believe that. And so those of you of the household of faith, no matter what faith you are, oftentimes you will come up against this belief that's entrenched, that is taught from many pulpits, okay? And so the belief or the expectation, the assumption that you can love them enough that they won't hurt you is unrealistic. Because in this case, in an instant where you're dealing with an abuser and you expect that the abuse will stop because you love them so much and because you don't burn their eggs and because you do their laundry and because whatever it is that you do to ensure that they are happy, all those things that you do, that you turn yourself inside out to make sure that every need that they have is met. And the assumption, the expectation that any of that will change the fact that they feel entitled to everything that you're doing. They believe that you owe it to them and that that's your job, okay? So your expectations are in opposition to one another. He expects or she expects, whoever the abuser is, they expect that you will continue to serve them and be dominated by them no matter what. And you expect that the domination and the abuse will stop because of all the things that you're doing. Unrealistic expectation, unrealistic assumption, okay? The expectation or the belief, this sounds great in movies, sounds really romantic, but it's really detrimental. The belief that you have enough love for both of you, that you love them enough that even if they don't love you, you've got enough love for both of you. Sets you up. It sets you up to keep you in harm's way. Here we go. The expectation that if you pray enough, if you fast enough, if you pray loud enough, if you fast long enough, if you bend over backwards to meet their unreasonable demands, that things will change. The Lord will present opportunities because that's his character. But he's not going to make anyone submit to them. Okay? He's not going to force them. And so this is something, change is something that they have to desire. And if they desire it, then it goes beyond lip service. The assumption that warnings from the abuser's previous partners are rooted in jealousy. I'll say that again. The assumption that warnings from the abuser's previous partners are rooted in jealousy. The question that should be explored is not, are they just jealous? Are they just trying to break us up? The correct question is, are they telling the truth? Are they stating facts? Are they telling the truth? Are they stating facts? Let me tell you something. Don't get hung up on their motive. Their motive matters not. What they're saying to you, is it fact? Is it the truth? Because even if it's coming from a source that is difficult to accept it from, the truth remains the truth, beloved. And so many times, victims, before they become victims, are warned by previous partners, and the warnings are shrugged off, dismissed, chalked up to jealousy. I'm not debating with you about if that person is jealous or if that person is trying to break you up. If they have an ulterior motive and they just want to get back with the abuser. That's not the point. That's not the point. And listen, that's something that I had to learn. That's not the point. The point is, are you in danger? The point is, and the correct question is, are they telling you the truth? Are they stating facts? Do they have documentation to back up what they're saying? Okay? So if a previous partner or family member or friend or someone who's close to this toxic individual says to you that they're abusive, says to you that they are dangerous, do they have documentation to substantiate what they're saying? I submit to you, they may be telling the truth even if they haven't told the police. They may be telling the truth even if they don't have documentation. But if they do have documentation, that will help you to squash that argument in your head about their motive. I'm going to say this one more time. The motive does not matter. The motive matters not. Are they speaking the truth? What have we been talking about? We've been talking about unreasonable expectations. And the title of this particular video is Dear Survivor, Manage Your Expectations. So we're going to stop right there for this week. Next week, we're going to talk about how to manage them. I'm going to give you some pointers on what I had to learn in terms of managing. And listen, even if moving forward you find yourself in a relationship and it's not an abusive relationship, it's important that we all be able to manage our expectations in our day-to-day interactions with others. Are our expectations realistic? This is Apostle Cheryl, the Judas Roy Domestic Violence Awareness Initiative. Thanks for spending time with us today. You be safe out there. Blessings to you.